Some of us are ready. We are on.
It's on.
Is Lenny
Yeah, it's on.
here? It's on. I'm literally looking at this red light. Stop.
Oh, boy.
Here we go.
Be a long-
Good morning. This meeting of the Fremont County Board of County Commissioners is called to order. And we invite you to rise and join us with our invocation by Joe Garkovich from Mercy Today Ministries, to immediately be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let us pray. Gracious God, we thank you for this day. We are grateful that you have given us another day in which to serve you. As this group of dedicated public servants gathers this morning, we pray that you would grant them courage and compassion and wisdom to make the best decisions for all the residents of Fremont County. And we would also like to lift up all of our county employees this day. We ask you to bless them and to keep them safe as they perform their duties this day and in the days ahead. And all these prayers we send to you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Joe.
Thanks, Joe.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Bell,
Present?
Commissioner McFall,
Present?
Commissioner Grantham,
Here.
County Attorney Jackson,
Present.
County Manager Carochi,
Present.
Planning and Zoning Director Victoria.
Present.
Next item on our agenda is the approval of the agenda.
Yes, Mr. Chair, we have a couple of changes to our agenda this morning, so I move to approve today's agenda with the following changes. Under consent agenda, item number 1, approval of minutes. The minutes from June 13th are unavailable as of yet, so we will strike those. And under new business, item 2, we are changing it to read resolution number amending the March 2019 edition of the Fremont County Personnel Policies and Procedures Manual, Chapter 3, Types of Employees, Chapter 7, Leave, and Chapter 8, Benefits.
Second.
Has been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Bell,
Aye.
Commissioner McFall,
Aye.
Commissioner Grantham,
Aye.
motion carried.
Are you sure?
Next item on the agenda is the consent agenda.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Has been moved and seconded. We will make note that other than the typical business of approving the bills, we are not scheduling any public hearings in this consent agenda. Roll call.
Commissioner McFall,
Aye.
Commissioner Bell,
Aye.
Commissioner Grantham.
Aye.
Motion carried.
We move on to the portion of our agenda for administrative and informational updates by our staff and elected officials. We turn first to our Budget and Finance Officer, Sean Sutton. Mr. Sutton.
Good morning.
Good morning, Sean.
How are we today?
Wonderful.
Good, good. So would like to start with the retail sales tax collection. This is for April 2023. Total collections totaled $755,788, which is $32,706 more than 2022. Year to date, we collected $2,809,393, which is $209,592 more than 2022. And we are ahead of the 2023 budget finally at $176,060. So good news there. The auto use sales tax collection. Now this is through May. As I promised last month, we'll go over both April and May. So April's total was, let's see, $124,051, which was $504 short of last year. And then we collected $132,664, which was $4,700 less than 2022. Year-to-date, we've collected a total of $590,303, which is $702 less than 2022. However, to budget, we are $100,720 ahead. The lodging tax, this is for April, totaled $4,787, which was $3,958 more than 2022. Year-to-date, we've collected $63,790, which is $15,107 more than 2022. So this was a non-collection or, quarterly collection, so overall, doing well in that area as well. The sheriff retail sales tax collection, this is for April, totaled $503,852, which is $21,797 more than 2022. Collected a total of $1,872,922, which is $139,721 more than 2022. And to budget, we're narrowing that gap. And as I've said in recent months, as the months get, warmer and the days get longer, we should further close and hopefully exceed that gap there. So overall, good numbers there. And then for sheriff auto use sales tax collection, again, 2-month review. April, we collected a total of $82,701. This is $360 less than 2022. $88,443 was collected in May. This was $3,133 less than 2022. Year-to-date total, $393,534, which is $24,866 less than 2022. However, I feel like we did a good job budgeting on this line item. We're $201 more than our 2023 budget. Again, overall, I feel like 2023 is shaping up to be another good year. We'll continue to monitor these numbers and make any changes as necessary.
Okay.
Any questions? Be happy to answer.
Thank you, sir. Just, again, the broken record department, every time you're in here, just a reminder, and you've already mentioned it, that as we got into these summer months, late spring and summer months, those numbers start catching up as usual to the per month budgeted amount. So looking good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sean.
Welcome.
And now our county manager report by Tony Carochi, our county manager.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Morning.
Just a couple things. Fremont County Department of Transportation staff are continually out patching. Patching trucks are out fixing potholes and road edges. The Department of Transportation staff are finishing up the double chip seal on County Road 2, which is in Tallahassee today, and they will begin preparing and prepping County Road 67 from County Road 123 to Highway 50, and then County Road 123 to the Twin Enviro landfill over the next couple days. They should be completed by the 29th, and if they're not able to, they will finish the work on July 3rd. We encourage all citizens to be careful when driving and try to plan extra time, to be careful in those areas and slower travel. We currently have job postings for the following areas: an assistant county attorney for the Fremont County Department of Human Services, detention deputy positions within the sheriff's office, and a recording tech 2 for the clerk and recorder's office that closes at 2 p.m. today. For more information about employment opportunities with Fremont County, please go to our county website at fremontco.com, or you can call our HR department at 719-276-7411. That's all I have, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
At this time, I turn to our elected officials, and I don't see any others in the room today since the clerk is not here. So I turn to my fellow commissioners, and Any comments?
I was not going to, but I do. Very quick, next Tuesday, we will be celebrating 247 years as the United States of America. I just want to wish everyone happy 4th and be safe out there. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, good call. Happy 4th of July to everybody. A quick update on Pathfinder Park. We got a few pictures here that we were out there yesterday again for our weekly update. And here's some pictures of the building as it was yesterday. That was a
There
good.
was.
That is not the window of the building. There it is. It's a big shed. It's 160 by 300 with what we're calling a little classroom on the side. And looking forward to that being finished here in the next few weeks. The construction company guarantees me still that we'll have it done before the fair, which starts the end of July. So we'll have the animals and stuff under there, and the fair's going to be pretty awesome this year. So encourage everybody to plan to come out to the fair. We've got concerts. We've got Colorado Pro Rodeo. We've got all the kids and their projects and animals, and plus it's open to open entries too if anybody has any projects they would like to enter in the fair. Those fair books are available at the extension office out at Pathfinder, or they've been posting them online on Facebook I've seen too, so they're available out there, and check those out. But it's really exciting to have this building almost completed. We're going to start working on the dirt floor there this week probably, or next week. They're finishing up in that classroom right there, and it's a pretty amazing project. So if you haven't been by there, the event center we have out there is huge, and this building makes it look tiny. So it's worth the drive to go out there and check it out and see it. And
I think you could probably literally fit our event center building underneath
it,
that,
yeah, just about. Yeah, it's
As
100
big
by
as it is.
100, so yeah, you could, yeah.
depending on the height. But if you get a chance and you drive down to Florence, take a look at that and the progress being made. And for our Florence residents that are in the room today, stop and grab a bite to eat in Florence while you're at it. So this is just an amazing thing for us. So we're excited.
Yeah,
as
and I think it's
Commissioner
really
said.
cool that the city of Florence and merchants and the Chamber of Commerce have realized the economic impact this is going to have on them, and they're meeting in the 1st of July, whenever that is. They're gearing that all towards the fair, which is going to be the end of July. So a lot of people go here, and it's just a quick little jaunt into Florence to grab something to eat. So it's great for the whole community,
It
but
is.
it's a good deal. Thank you.
Okay, anything else?
No, we've been getting moisture, but now we are hot. Sean said as it gets hotter, I think it's already too hot. I love that weather when we're raining. But be careful out there when you're out 4th of July, and stuff can still burn, I gotta say it. So
Yeah.
be careful.
But yeah, and we mentioned it 2 weeks ago as well when we actually rolled back the fire ban. It doesn't mean that we can't still be careful, and that we should still be careful on our outdoor fires, our burning any kind of slash piles and fireworks as far as that goes. So please continue to be careful with that and responsible, and have a wonderful and safe 4th of July. I don't have anything other than that, and so let's move on to our citizens who wish to address the commissioners on a matter not scheduled on the agenda. And at this point, we have one person signed up to speak to us today. And if there's anyone else in the audience that would wish to address us here at this point in the meeting, there are slips on the table at the door to fill out, and we'd welcome you to do that. At this time, we have Randy Escobar speaking for the citizens for a pool.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
All right. So thank you for allowing myself to speak on behalf of our group, Citizens for a Pool. My name is Randy, and I've lived in Fremont County pretty much my entire life. My summer days were spent walking the 5 or so blocks to the pool, meeting old and new friends, and swimming my summer days away. Once I graduated college while still living here in Fremont County, I got married here and started the game of life. We moved away for a bit, but as soon as the opportunity came to move back here, we did, because we wanted to raise our family here. Both my kiddos had their first swimming lessons at RC Ickabone's pool. Hearing about the closing of the pool was heartbreaking to my family. After talking to a few others via the Nextdoor app, we as neighbors, who most had never met, decided we needed to step up to the plate and do something. My very next step was to call Kyle Horn, director of the rec district, and told him what we were doing. He was happy, gave me a lot of information, and couldn't believe we were acting so fast. The 6 of us met and then formed our group, Citizens for a Pool, which now, in a little over 2 weeks, has over 400 members from all over Fremont County. We are becoming a 501c3 and filling our paperwork out with the state. We are listening to our members and non-members, brainstorming ideas, and thinking outside of the box. We need guidance, knowledge, and education from experts like you. Look at all the amazing things you have done for our community. The new playground equipment in Howard, the pavilion going up at Pathfinder Regional Park are just a few amazing examples of work you have done. Thank you for your service to our community and to your citizens. You can find our group on Facebook, Citizens for a Pool. Email us at citizensforapool@gmail.com. It's all spelled out. And then I did pass along my personal information, and Kathy emailed it to you guys as well to contact me. We look forward to working with you and hearing from you guys. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments? Just introduce yourself.
My name's Elizabeth Sosha. I actually live in Florence, and I've been there about 3 years. I feel very passionate about this because I think this could be something that's beneficial to all members of our community, both old and young, and it's a great way to increase a vital community to have a rec center where everyone can benefit.
You don't have to. You don't have to.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you guys. I really appreciate that, and
Thank
we'll
you.
we'll keep an eye on what's going on and encourage you to move forward.
All right. Thank you.
Look forward to it. Thank you.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Kevin, do you have some of those?
Yes, sir.
Can I say a word about the pool?
You may.
My name is Mike Banker. Lived in this community for a long, long time. And I've been a part of pool issues for a long time. And I guess I'm here probably to join this group, but also to advocate primarily for the children in our community. I am a retired physician, and one of my duties in life is to try to provide for the safety of our citizens, and I guess especially our children. I grew up swimming in the Rio Grande River in Southwest Texas, which I'm here to tell you was, I'm very lucky to be here today. And then our river here, of course, with the Arkansas River going right through our community, and at times incredibly dangerous, like right now. People drowned, and because we have no pool, kids are going to be gravitating towards the river to recreate, and many of them do not know how to swim. The city has provided life jackets, which I think is a great thing, but I think in the big picture, we, including the leadership of Fremont County, should be here to do what we can to protect our children. And of course, grassroots is teach them how to swim. And that is really important. So when the pool goes away, that place where kids learn how to swim is obviously gone. And I echo what Rachel?
Randy.
Said that Fremont County has done a lot of good things for our county, and of course we all appreciate that. This is a big deal. It's just not about the county. It's about the city, I think, to start with, then the county. We're the largest city in the county. It is unfortunate that we've come to this point, and I've also been involved in multiple campaigns to try to bring, update the pool. Those all failed. and here we go again. But I think that it is a very important issue in all of our lives right now. And as parents, as grandparents, I see my 2 little grandkids, and they're going to Salida to swim now, going to Florence to swim, going to Pueblo to swim, just to learn how to swim. And that's, sort of ridiculous. So please consider joining with this grassroots movement and focusing on the group of people that I feel most passionate about in life now, and that is, the kids. I think that's really what it's all about. I love to swim personally, but it's not about me. I'm going to be checking out soon.
Hopefully not too soon.
Well, hopefully not too soon, but when you get to be 70 years old, you start kind of occasionally thinking about that. But it's, it's also time for my generation to kind of step aside, and we need children who do not drown in our rivers. And I've had two people very close to me who have drowned, both of them 15-year-old girls. So it's a very real phenomena. It's not somebody else, it's your next door neighbor. So please join us in this endeavor. And it's going to take a lot of work on our part. But these 3 women have already put together a pretty robust plan, and I'm happy that they've done that. So it's Fremont County, the city, other stakeholders, and then ultimately the citizens of I guess, our rec district.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Mack.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
Would you get one of those forms at
Yeah.
the door, please, and fill it out so we have it for our records? Thank you.
And I did kind of trick you into speaking, so if you could fill one out too, I'd appreciate it.
You tricker.
Anybody else that would like to address the board before we move on in our agenda? Very well, we'll move on to old business. This is our resolution, which will be number 20, regarding a zone change number 2 with final development plan permit, Department of Planning and Zoning file, zoning change number 2, 23-001, Yoder storage sheds. This is something that we covered 2 weeks ago and had the public hearing on, and this is the resolution that will wrap it up. So,
All right, Mr. Chair, we did cover this pretty well a couple of weeks ago, so I move to approve resolution number 20, zone change number 2 with final development plan permit through the Department of Planning and Zoning, file ZC2 23-001, Yoder storage sheds.
Second.
it's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Bell?
Aye.
Commissioner McFall?
Aye.
Commissioner Grantham?
Aye.
Motion carried.
On the new business, we will start with our County Facilities Director, Eric Seebeck, in regard to an award bid for the Judicial Center roof. As we all breathe a sigh of relief and say, finally, we're happy to be here.
Morning, Eric.
Good morning,
Morning,
guys.
Eric.
Okay, so the Judicial Center Roof Project bid recommendation, the bid review committee consisting of County Manager Tony Carochi, me, the Director of Facilities, Finance Officer Sean Sutton, and County Engineer Jay Bunderson, recommended awarding the contract to bidder Vendetti's Roofing in the total amount of $318,500. Recommendation rationale: the county requested bids for either or both of 2 types of roofing work: a high-performance coating and or number 2, a total roof replacement. Bids were evaluated based on a bid price, warranty, experience, and method. Method and materials were researched and consultation with building experts was conducted. It was agreed by the committee to choose the complete roof replacement due to the age of the existing underlying roof deck, which is near or has exceeded its life expectancy. There was only one bid in this category, which automatically is the lowest responsive bidder. In short, of the committee felt that coating a failing roof substrate would be short-sighted fix and ultimately cost taxpayers more money. In the long term, a complete roof replacement costs more upfront but delivers more value overall. The coating options were less expensive and had similar warranties, but warranties would only cover the coating and not future leaks developed due to the failure of the existing substrate. Please contact our committee if you have any questions.
Okay. Any questions?
I don't have any questions. I got a couple of comments. I was in on a couple of these conversations these guys were having. They did a very thorough job of investigating all of these companies and the methods which they had proposed. And I agree. The roof has been leaking. We don't know what that substructure looks like. And just to cover it up and put a Band-Aid on top of it is probably kind of a foolish move. The other bids were less, but around 100,000 less, some of them not even that much less. So to get the full substructure and the top is definitely the way to go.
I would chime in my agreement with that, Eric. I think we all learned maybe from the roof of this building. It took us years to replace the roofing that we had here. And part of that is because there were so many different layers. Layers of new roof, layers of protective coatings, more layers of new roof. Things just had not been done the right way for a long time, and I think that had a lot to do with funding that was available. And so right now, I feel like the county actually does have funding available to perform this work, so I think this is the right call.
And just to reemphasize what Eric mentioned, all of these bidders were given the opportunity to bid on both directions, either the coating or the replacement. And only Vendetti's actually turned in a bid for the replacement. We feel like it's a reasonable bid considering what is being done, and as the other two have mentioned, I think we're on board to get her done. We've been looking at this for a long time, and I think it probably goes back to prior to me sitting up here. So I'm glad we're getting her done now. So, is there a motion?
Got a motion for you, Mr. Chair. Actually, a comment first.
Yes.
The funds we have available, I hate that the federal government gave so much money out, but this is ARPA funds that we've allocated for this too. So we're using those funds in a responsible way. There's other ways we've used them as well, but this is one of them. That, Mr. Chair, I move to approve the Judicial Center roof contract to Vendetti Roofing for an amount of $318,500.
I'll second that with the note that Vendetti's is a local company. They reside in Florence, and we appreciate having the opportunity to work with local folks and keep county money here in Fremont County.
Okay. Has been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner McFall?
Aye.
Commissioner Bell?
Aye.
Commissioner Grantham?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Okay.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Thanks,
Eric.
Eric.
Thanks, Eric.
Item number 2, the resolution number 21, amending I better read the right one here. This is the one we changed at the original motion to approve the agenda. Resolution number 21, amending the March 2019 edition of the Fremont County Personnel Policies and Procedures Manual, Chapter 3, Types of Employees, Chapter 7, Leave, and Chapter 8, Benefits. And here to tell us what we are doing today is our HR Director, Alicia Stone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
So what I had to do was update our policy to reflect what the Healthy Families and Workplaces Act allows for temporary, seasonal, and paid interns to accrue sick leave. And it requires for an accrual of 1 hour for every 30 hours worked. But we have done the policy to reflect what our regular employees receive, which is 2 hours for every 40 hours worked. So we had to update the pay, the sick leave, and benefits for those sections.
2 hours for every,
40,
40.
yes,
Okay.
instead of 1 hour for every 30. So it's a little more generous, but
And that was the federal act, right? Was that the?
it's a Colorado
That
state.
was the
yeah.
state
Mhm.
act. Okay. And
But the state only requires 1 hour per 30.
1
We
per 30,
Correct,
talked about 2 hours for 40.
yep,
right? And all the different chapters are just updating everything across the board
yep,
for each of those, yeah.
yes, sir.
Okay. Any questions, comments?
When legislation changes, we've got to change
Yeah.
ours as well,
Got
so.
to change with it, yep. No questions, comments? I have a motion.
Please.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve resolution, this will be 21, amending the March 2019 edition of the Fremont County Personnel Policies and Procedures Manual, Chapter 3, Chapter 7, and Chapter 8.
Second.
Has been moved and seconded, and just a reminder that despite the changes that we are making or kind of required to make, we are still being more generous than the state.
Yep.
So I like to point that out. In any case, any further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Bell?
Aye.
Commissioner McFall?
Aye.
Commissioner Grantham?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Alicia.
Next, item number 3, secure transportation service license and secure transportation vehicle permit for American Medical Response. And we have with us today our Emergency Management Director, Michael Kroll. Mr. Kroll.
Hi, Michael.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So usually we do ambulance inspections and ambulance licensing, but there are some new procedures in the works with the state, and we're conforming to those here in Fremont County. So secure transport helps keep our ambulances in service, and we don't have to take those out of service. Instead, if there's a medical evaluation that needs to be done, a secure transport vehicle can be used. The same processes and procedures that are required of ambulance inspections are in place. And thanks to Brenda Jackson, we put this in place, and the regulations, rules, they work with what the state requires, and then Fremont County works in with those. So there's vehicle inspections done, there's equipment inspections done, certification of vehicle condition, all those same inspections, just not all the ALS and BLS side, since this is a non-medical. So going out, this is the first one for American Medical Response that I've done so far, so learning experience for me, but AMR is always in good standing, they're always prepared, so that's what I bring up today.
They were a good one to start with.
Yeah, good one
Yeah.
to start with. And the only difference with these is the permit is good for 1 year, and then the licensing is actually good for 3 years. So that is a difference versus ambulance licensing.
And is that from today?
That will be from today when you guys sign it, yes.
Okay.
So we also have a specified vehicle, it's just for that vehicle.
That is correct.
Okay. And that's on the permit and on the,
It is.
On the permit.
on the
part,
permit?
yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Any other comments or questions for Mr. Kroll? I think we're gonna need 2 motions, one for the license and one for the permit.
Want them separate?
I think.
Can do
that's
that.
what we talked about, yeah.
Can do that, Mr. Chair. I move to approve the Secure Transport Service License, which is a 3-year license for AMR, American Medical Response. It's for Class A and B Secure Transport Service License.
Second.
Has been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner McFall?
Aye.
Commissioner Bell?
Aye.
Commissioner Grantham?
Aye.
Motion carried.
And I got a motion for the second part, which is
Please.
a motion to approve the permit for American Medical Response, AMR, for Type A and B Secure Transport Vehicle, which is a 2005 Ford Expedition.
You want to read that, Vin?
And one more,
And this is a 1-year license.
and this is a 1-year license, yep.
I'll second.
Has been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner McFall?
Aye.
Commissioner Bell?
Aye.
Commissioner Grantham?
Aye.
Motion carried.
I want to wait till we get to the legal descriptions till you read
So,
those.
yeah, no, I'll read the legal descriptions.
I know it is. I know it is.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Michael.
Much appreciated. At this time, item number 4, we have a request for the issuance of a fermented malt beverage special events permit for Colorado Trappers and Predator Hunters Association for an event at the Pathfinder Event Center, 6655 State Highway 115, Florence, on the dates of August 11 from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. and August 12 from 2 p.m. to 9 p.m. 2023. And with us today is representative for this organization, Dan Gates.
Good morning, Dan.
Good morning, Dan.
Morning, Commissioners. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. Thank you very much.
Good.
Go ahead and tell us what you're doing.
So on August 11th and 12th, we're having a 2-day event at Pathfinder Regional Park in cooperation with several other nonprofit organizations that are conservation oriented, along with support from Fremont County and the Colorado Parks and Wildlife as well. I can, if you wouldn't mind, I could approach the bench there and hand out some literature. These are the updated flyers that we've actually got.
Very
We're
cool.
still
Thank you.
acquiring additional support sponsors
Thanks, sir.
and so forth. If you want to, the attorney as well. What we intend on trying to do is, we've got support from the Colorado Bowhunters Association, the National Wild Turkey Federation, Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation, Muley Fanatics, Blood Origins, along with KUIU, who's a national sportsman clothing representative, and all the sponsors that we've got listed on there. So we'll have everything from elk calling and turkey calling and predator calling, duck calling contest and ugly hunting dog contest. There'll be hunting education that Parks and Wildlife will be running, along with their 22 certification shooting trailer, which is a low velocity 22 rifle that they do all throughout the state. We intend on having probably somewhere in the neck of the woods of 15 to 20 or 25 Colorado Parks and Wildlife staff, including district wildlife managers and area wildlife managers. We have done invitations to state legislators as well. Representative or Senator Perry Will has indicated that he'd like to attend, as well as Senator Dylan Roberts from the Western Slope. We have reached out to our local representatives, and hopefully they can attend. On the first night, after the first day event, we've got a instructional webinar seminar presentation by Colorado Parks and Wildlife that they're actually doing on their bobcat and their lion studies that they've done throughout the state. One here focusing primarily on the Fremont County, Chaffee County river corridor area along the Arkansas River. And then subsequent to that, Blood Origins is actually doing their debut of a lion heart video that they did along with Safari Club International. And so that'll be the debut of that. There'll be a small dinner that night with hot dogs and hamburgers supplied by one of the vendors. And on Saturday evening, that will be the fundraiser banquet that we'll actually have, where you've got live auctions and raffles, silent auctions, and that sort of thing, just like any other sportsman banquet. During the course of the days, there'll be seminars for concealed carry, wild game cooking, skinning demonstrations, outdoor activity demonstrations, whether it be predator hunting or maybe bow hunting. And we're trying to circle back in with a lot of the local participation that we have from the bow hunting community, the rifle hunting community, the muzzleloading hunting community. And it's right before those seasons actually take effect, and it's right after the county fair, so we're hoping to be able to feed off of some of that crowd and let them know of our involvement and what we're trying to accomplish as well. We've done this for 45 years with the Colorado Trappers and Predator Hunters Association. However, it's not been this broad as far as expansive reaching, and while we intended on doing it in 2020, everybody knows how that turned out with 2020, 2021, and subsequently 22 of trying to get anybody on board with COVID. So with that, I would be willing to entertain any questions. And the 2 nights that we're actually having the beverage that we're actually asking for will be served by reputable individuals that work with the Elks Lodge and or the VFW, depending on who decides that they're going to do what. We have the sponsorship for the alcoholic beverages, which will just be beer or non-alcoholic as well. And that'll be provided by 1 or 2 different distributors, depending on who wants to fight for what chance at this point in time, because there's multiple opportunities for us. It'll be served from 2 o'clock in the afternoon until 8 o'clock on Friday night, and 2 o'clock in the afternoon until 9 o'clock, as you mentioned, sir, on Saturday night. And it'll be highly supervised, contained inside of the structure for the service part of it. And if there's anything that's outside, then we'll have an area set up where people can actually utilize those beverages to their liking without free range of the entire complex. We've worked with Kyle Horn out there, District Wildlife Manager Zach Holder, Area Wildlife Manager Sean Shepard up in Salida, and they're helping to pull together a lot of the other opportunities that we're looking to do. But we'll have enough supervision and enough security there to be able to maintain what we're actually looking to try to do. So with that, I'd entertain any questions.
Is there, other than the banquet on Saturday evening, is this just open to anybody that wants to come and?
Yes, sir.
And participate and look
Good,
around?
good point. There will be a $5 entry fee per vehicle to be able to get on the facility, and the way we can kind of structure people where they're going and what they're doing. There'll be a limited amount of vendors on site, some food vendors as well. But the majority of the activities over the course of the 2 days is more activity-based and not just, vendor-based. And with the kids fishing derby and the other events that we're looking to have, we hope to be able to draw from not only around the area, but outside of the area. We will be advertising television, on network television, social media, and through the websites for the event. And then we're doing radio advertisement and print advertisement as well. Most of that will start up pretty hard and heavy around the 15th of July. But as far as the event on the evening side of things, we think it'll be $10 or $12. We haven't decided yet. On the Friday night event, that'll cover the food part of it, and Parks and Wildlife, and then the debut of the Blood Origins video. And then on Saturday night, it'll be a $45 dinner ticket, and there again, that's the fundraising opportunity. And I'll just say that all the money that's raised from the banquet side of it goes to what we do at the Capitol when we provide lobbying representation for sportsmen and women in the state of Colorado. All conservation efforts, and you guys are aware of to some degree that what I'm involved in. But with the partnership that we've created, that's the only mechanism that we've got to be able to provide the roundabout leadership and representation for conservation efforts in Colorado. And we are the only ones in the state of Colorado that are doing that. We work in partnership with all the other organizations, but the Coloradans for Responsible Wildlife Management is the lobbying organization. The Colorado Trappers and Predator Hunters Association is the facilitator and the host of this event. And CRWM, the lobbying representation, goes into the handbasket with that, so to speak, with all the other organizations as well.
Okay.
I'll tell you, Mr. Chair, if I may, that's a heavy lift.
Yes, sir.
What you do at the legislation, it seems that they're trying to take our rights away from us constantly. And so I appreciate what you guys do.
Thank you.
And I also appreciate that you've chosen Pathfinder Park for your event. I think it's pretty exciting. It's going to be a great event. I've been hearing about it for a long time and pretty excited about everything that's going to happen. I do have a question, though.
Yes, sir.
On the liquor license, because that's what we're here for. You do have on the map that you've got a proposed beer station inside the building, but then you mentioned that they may be able to take them outdoors. We need to have that specified in the location of where those are going to be potentially, or whatever, either in the building. If it's outside, it's got to be fenced off.
Okay. We were planning on, because of the non-smoking component of the facility itself, we were having an area outside one of the great big doors there that we could actually put as a smoking area, and if somebody wanted to, they could take a beverage to that location where the smoking was allowed. But it would be fenced off outside of one of those big overhead doors.
Probably just, we need something drawn up.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think we do. I guess I could ask legal. Do we have to have it drawn up? Can we just?
The areas where alcohol is going to be served or consumed have to be shown on the
Have to be shown.
Okay.
And right now, it just shows the inside of the building.
Okay. So we can address that now or immediately in the near future
I think we
whatever's
could,
necessary.
Just
I'll ask
submit
you
an
again,
amended
submit it
Okay.
afterwards. I mean, and we can continue with what we're doing here.
Yeah.
Okay. Good deal.
That's the only thing, it's just the control of the alcohol and where it goes and who has it and all that
Fully
kind of stuff.
understand. Yes, sir.
Okay. Commissioner Bell?
Yeah, I agree with Commissioner McFall. This is a really exciting thing, and I think you're looking at this with an eye toward continuing it in the future as an annual event. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much, Commissioner Bell. The biggest thing that we're doing is trying to get the hurdles together because of where we've been throughout the state over the course of the last 45 years. We've gone here and back and forth. But to try to pull all of these other organizations together, Pathfinder Park is actually a very good spot to do that. because of the amenities that it has and what you guys are trying to do and to enhance and improve that. With the river, the potential on-site camping, you know, the archery component, the facility itself, the covered component. I mean, you guys are making it into a class act to where it's actually being utilized and can be utilized for future outdoor type events. And I can tell you that while everybody talks the talk, most people don't walk the walk. Most organizations don't walk the walk. They are in this case. I mean, we just did a tour with the Bow Hunters Association and one of the local archery shops the other day. And they want to try to pull together a broad reach of constituents and stakeholders, and we're hoping to be able to turn around and carry that till next year or the year after, if we're so inclined. I would like to say, with the support of Colorado Parks and Wildlife helping to pull off from a state agency what they can bring to the table as far as resources, as far as some of that is financial, but a lot of it is just the people side of it and the expertise, the knowledge and the awareness that they have that they can bring. It helps enhance that position, and we've utilized their participation previously, but this particular one, because we're trying to make it so expansive, it's not more than we can handle. It's just there's a lot of moving parts, and it's like chasing packing peanuts in a windstorm right now. So we appreciate that.
Will you demonstrate that demonstrate that for us this afternoon, would you?
I could do that. It's like catching dollar bills in a wind tunnel. So
I don't see that event on.
So we can start that if you'd like. And another note too, we would like to make sure that we have the commissioners' support and attendance. I think it's going to be a good opportunity that you guys will enjoy, and we can figure out a way to get you tickets in one way or shape or form. So,
okay,
count me in.
Okay.
Definitely. Count me in, but I'm going to pay for it. I want to be part of the donation too.
Appreciate that.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Same.
All right.
Any other questions?
Not yet.
Okay, now we turn to our staff. Ms. Smith for staff report.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So the clerk's office sees no issues with the application. We've been provided with all the necessary documentation. The application was reviewed by the county attorney, and the health department and sheriff's office do recommend approval. And the clerk's office also recommends approval.
Okay. Any
Thanks.
questions for Ms. Smith?
I do have a question.
Please.
Part of the application discussing liability insurance says will do as needed. Is liability insurance going to be required for this? Not, it's.
For the lease agreement?
I should have just had you stay up here,
Maybe,
Dan,
maybe
sorry.
you
Thank you,
can
sorry,
do
sir.
this. Oh, this is on the park, the facility. Sorry, I'm asking the wrong person. So this is actually on the facility agreement. Have you talked to our director out there, Jeremy McNeely, about liability insurance to see if such will be required?
Thank you, Commissioner Bell. Yes, ma'am, we have, and we've submitted that document actually to Jeremy. And I think it's $1 million, $2 million, if I'm not mistaken, which is pretty standard for most of our events that we do.
It's in your packet there, Debbie. It's a little
Is it down there
lower.
lower?
Yeah, it's
Okay,
in there.
I missed it.
$1 million
so-
and 2, you're correct.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Cool, thank you.
Okay.
All right, I have no further questions,
Okay.
but I have a motion when you're prepared.
Any
Oh, are you gonna
tips,
open it?
training?
Yeah, you had said that the alcohol will be served by those reputable, responsible members of society.
Yes, ma'am.
Just to double check and make certain that you understand, everyone who serves must be certified as a server and trained in how to serve alcohol.
Yes, ma'am.
So, okay.
Yes, and we've actually gone through those, trying to figure out who from those 2 facilities actually can turn around and participate. We've done our due diligence and homework on that, and they're figuring out who they can actually have, or who could take the time at that point in time, just because of other conflicts and so forth. But that's the resources that we're utilizing at this time.
Okay, thank you.
Knowing quite a few of the Elks. No, I'll just leave that.
Are you going to open it up for public?
Yes. Given the nature of this, I would open this up for any comments from the public in our audience. If there is anybody who wishes to speak on this event, please come on up to the mic. Introduce yourself.
Hi, my name's Kathy Young. I live in Florence, 220 6th Street, East 6th Street. Yeah, I thought I heard, I could be wrong, that people are going to be carrying guns to this, right?
No, ma'am.
Oh, I thought I heard you talk about 22s, low velocity.
Yeah, please, at the mic.
Thank you very much for the question. The firearms that'll be used are through Colorado Parks and Wildlife through the hunter education certification that they do in their state education program. And so the only firearms that will be utilized is during their 22 shooting trailer that they utilize throughout the state at different events. And that's through their certification process that they require. But that could be done at any city park that they do, or it could be done at Pathfinder or whatever. But that's the only firearms that will actually be allowed on site,
Okay,
outside of what law enforcement or security or whatever has.
correct. And as far as that goes, we are still people with concealed carry and are still allowed to conceal carry, and as far as open carry goes, that's still the law of the state. So,
Yes,
in
sir.
any case.
Yes.
But as far as a part of the organized event, you described that.
Yeah, the only organized component of any discharge of anything would be the archery side of things, and that's through also a certification process that the Colorado Bow Hunters Association and Colorado Parks and Wildlife utilizes. But in no certain circumstance would be any alcohol allowed in any of those specific locations. And outside of what somebody wants to do on their own deal, it's not going to have anything to do with our event.
Right. And as far as the alcohol goes, which is the purpose still, what we're discussing
Yes,
here,
sir.
it is still illegal to consume alcohol and carry a firearm.
Yes, sir.
In the state of Colorado.
Yeah.
Right. That hasn't changed. Okay, any other questions? Or any other comments from our audience? Seeing none, I would take a motion.
I have a motion ready for
Okay.
you, Mr. Chair. I move to approve this request for a fermented malt beverage special events permit for the Colorado Trappers and Predators Hunter Association for an event at Pathfinder Event Center on the following dates: August 11th from 2 to 8 p.m. and August 12th from 2 to 9 p.m.
Can we also ask for an updated map?
with a revised map, which I have the note written here. I just hadn't gotten quite
Not
that
there.
far.
I second
Yes,
that.
updated map.
Okay, it has been moved and seconded. Any further discussion?
No, just after this is over, Tally, get with her and update that map so that it's
Okay.
in the packet.
Good deal. Thank you, sir. Can I ask if do you have a map that I need to do to revise it to make sure we're crossing our T's and dotting our I's, or do I just go ahead and get the original map and revise that?
You can revise the original one.
Okay.
On it, it doesn't include an area for an outdoor space, so you might shrink it down and edit it however
The
you see
margins of
fit.
that
Draw
map
it in.
right now
Yeah.
may not give you much room to
Okay.
draw a fenced area, but I think that's what you're getting at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can get that to you tomorrow if that's
Okay,
sufficient for the
That's
commission.
great, you bet.
Okay, good deal. Thank you very much.
Any further comments? Roll call.
Commissioner Bell?
Aye.
Commissioner McFall?
Aye.
Commissioner Grantham?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Okay. Thank you, Dan.
Thank you,
Thank you
Dan.
very much. Look
Appreciate
forward
it.
to
Do
you
you
guys
have,
attending.
you have any extras of these that you might want to leave with us? We can put them up on our bench outside the commissioner's office.
Yes, sir.
Or somewhere, and
Surprising you would ask. Surprising I would have what you wanted.
I know a couple people that I think would find this very interesting, so
Yeah, good luck with your event.
Thank you very much.
Hope it goes well. We'll
Yeah,
see you
Dan.
out there.
Thanks, sir.
appreciate it.
Appreciate the time.
Next on our agenda, item number 5, Community Development Block Grant Business Loan Funds Application through UCOG and UAADC. Pass-through the representative, the Honorable Commissioner, former Commissioner, Dave Paul.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Nice to see everyone.
Thanks for being patient and waiting through our meeting. We have a
Brought
very
back
long agenda
memories.
today.
Yeah, memories.
So I am here this morning to request approval of an application for a community development block grant for the Business Loan Fund. It'll be a pass-through that comes through a county. This is a renewal of a previous block grant from, it's a cooperation between OEDIT and DOLA. So we actually have a community development block grant administrator that works for both entities. Essentially, this is the second step of 4 to renew this. The previous community development block grant was issued through Chaffee County. At the time, the Upper Arkansas Area Development Corporation director was living in Chaffee County, and it was 5 years ago. It expired in 2022, in October. When it came to me to do my very first community development block grant application, I thought it was much more cost-effective and convenient to come down the street and see friendly faces. So here I am.
Did you find any?
I did.
Okay.
Keep
It's
looking.
always nice to see Debbie.
There, yes, thank you.
And Commissioner McFall has already heard the presentation at our Upper Arkansas Area Council of Governments Board meeting, which also serves as the board of the Development Corporation, and they did approve it on the 22nd of June. Bottom line, we have a $300,000 request to the state with $48,000 in administrative coverage. That $300,000 goes into a business loan fund, along with our revolving business loan fund, which is currently at about $750,000. We also get money from the Forest Service, aimed primarily, well, exclusively at forestry activities, which we can tap into as well. So this $300,000, once it's depleted, we can ask for more, but it is a 2-year grant, and then it can be renewed for 1-year terms for 2 more terms, so a total of 4 years. If I can secure approval from you today, the next step will be to schedule a public hearing for the 6 counties that are involved, which is the 4 counties in the Upper Arkansas Area Council of Governments, which is Custer, Chaffee, Lake, and Fremont. And we also have business loan fund responsibilities for Teller and Park counties. In addition, the Development Corporation does enterprise zone administration for the COG counties as well as Park. That said, this is an important component to what it is that we're here to do, which is to provide financing for businesses that can't necessarily go to a bank. The strings attached to this particular grant money are more strenuous than the other funds that we utilize. For every job that is created, we can lend $20,000 to a business. We typically have to have a 2-to-1 investment by either the business or a bank, so we do work in conjunction with the banks with this fund as well. If someone goes to a bank and they want to borrow $100,000, the bank thinks they're good for $75,000, we may be able to work with them to get them the other $25,000. So, and also standalone projects, particularly for startups. If you're a startup, you typically don't have anything more than a business plan and whatever history you have in other businesses, but not the one you're trying to open. And the banks are, arguably not too enthusiastic about lending money to you. So the purpose of this is to fill that void and help create employment, help businesses get off the ground, and with your approval, we can move this forward. So I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Okay. Any questions for Mr. Paul?
Yes. So
Okay.
I brought this up to you at the COG meeting the other day, and I'm going to actually refer to Attorney Jackson here. When we were going over agenda review on this, it does require public hearings. However, our decision of approval should be with public input. And in the past, that's the way we have done this before in the past, is you do what you do right now, and then we open it for public hearing, whether there's any or not, and then we make an approval or well, we've always approved it, say or denial, but we've always approved it. But that takes care of the public hearing. So I'll ask you again, and we discussed this a little bit, and like I said, agenda review, am I out of line on that, or is that?
Is it cart before the horse?
Yeah.
I'm just not sure what you have in mind for the public hearing. I mean, they don't take action today.
Oh, the public hearing, well, and actually, they are approving it
The
to be
application?
to be the grantee. And then as sub-grantee, once I have that, I first get the approval of my board, which I've gotten. Then I get approval from you as the grantee, and we're the sub-grantee. At that point, then I have to schedule a public hearing, which we will do electronically, and each of the 6 counties will be publicizing the public hearing on their county website for 5 days prior to the date of the Zoom meeting. At that Zoom meeting, we will close out the previous grant and open up the new grant, and that is the order that I have been prescribed by the Community Development Block Grant Director. That's Allison Anderson.
And then at least 2 commissioners from each of the 6 counties will be participating in the Zoom meeting?
Anyone can participate in the Zoom meeting. If the commissioners want to, they can. We have to post it in each of the 6 counties. I did not see a requirement for any particular elected officials from the counties to be participating in the meeting. And if you've got instructions that differ from that, please give them to me and I'll make sure
I think
that
there's
we
just
do
a
that.
confusion as far
Yeah,
as.
this is just the first year that it's been done by this process.
Okay.
Generally, this would be the public hearing for this board to approve as a grantee based on the public input that they receive, if any.
Correct.
And so getting the public input after they approve going forward with the CBDG grant seems kind of reversed.
Well, and I think the public hearing is actually for the Development Corporation to be the sub-grantee. Since we're also the sub-grantee closing out the previous grant that was done through Chaffey County.
It would be important, I think, for this board to have at least 2 commissioners present for the public hearing since we're sponsoring the grant.
I agree with that.
And I'll be happy to keep you posted as to my success on getting that posted with 6 individual counties. I would hope I can get it done in 4 to 6 weeks.
Well, and this does say that the public hearing will be primary means for obtaining citizens' views and responding to the proposals and questions related to community development and housing needs, and the proposed CDBG activities and past performances, which is all you.
Mm-hmm.
Or you're in the public hearing
Yeah.
paragraph?
Yeah.
Okay. So what we'd be, it appeared to be a little flip-flopped compared to what apparently has been done in the past. But what we would be approving today is that we would be joining as grantee.
Correct. You would be the source that passes through the funds, and we would manage the funds and account for the funds as we did with Chaffey County on the previous Community Development Block Grant.
Okay.
And I would suspect that if after the public hearing there was a big outcry and nobody wanted to do it, we could make another decision and not do that. But I don't see that happening at all, but.
And as far as the public hearing goes, if I get this right, after this, the 6 counties jump in as grantees, and then you said the sub-grantee would be.
Actually, you're the only grantee.
Yes.
We are the only.
We are, Upper Arkansas Area Development Corporation is then the sub-grantee, and then we will get all of those ancillary documents signed as business items by the individual counties in the 6-county region that participates in the Business Loan Fund.
After the public hearing.
Yes.
Got it.
And then administers the grant till it's gone.
Correct.
After that.
And does the renewal in 2
Renewals
years
and
and
everything, right.
the renewal in the following year.
Okay.
I think it's a very wise idea to hold that public hearing via Zoom, because we've seen how difficult it is to get any preponderance of county commissioners together at one particular time in one location. So Zoom, it probably will happen.
Okay.
All right.
Any further questions from Mr.
Nothing
Paul?
here.
No, I've got a motion for you, Mr. Chair.
Okay.
I move to approve the application, which will be a pass-through grant for the Community Development Block Grant Business Loan Funds. And 2 of us will be present on the public hearing.
Second.
Okay. It has been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner McFall?
Aye.
Commissioner Bell?
Aye.
Commissioner Grantham?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Thanks,
Thank you
Dave.
very much.
Thanks, Dave.
Thanks, Dave.
Have a lovely day.
You
You
as
too.
well.
Now for items 6, 7, 8, and 9. Mr. Wyatt Webster here for some transfer of ownerships for some CUPs from multiple sources to Wholesome. So,
Good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
So I'm Wyatt Webster. I'm a representative of the West Central region of Wholesome, U.S., out of the Golden Office. Although I will say I'm a Arkansas Valley resident previously from Rocky Ford. So we're requesting 4 aggregate sources to be transferred over the CUPs, the conditional use permits, to Wholesome, U.S. If you have any questions, feel free.
any questions?
I do have a question for you. Just, I see it in writing, but just to make it clear publicly, that you understand all conditions that have been previously assigned to these permits will continue forward and will carry through, and you will be held to those same standards.
Understood.
Okay, thank you.
So did I understand that correctly? You grew up in Melanair?
I'm a Melanair.
All right.
Yep.
Okay.
You gonna hold that against him, or can we do this? Right?
No, we need to go into recess and have this executive session. I grew up over in Ordway, by the way.
Oh, really?
That's home.
You can hold that against him.
You can hold that against me, yes. Okay. If there's no other questions,
Staff
do we need a staff report from Mr. Victoria?
I've just been in contact with Wholesome, going back and forth over this transfer. They've stated the intent that they're aware of the conditions of all of the permits that they'd be taking over, and that they're going to satisfy all of those conditions. So, pretty general. They know the rules, and they're going to play by them.
Okay, that's always nice to hear.
Yes. Indeed.
Any further comments or questions?
Motion.
Okay, let's do, if there's nothing in particular about any one of these 4 that's different that needs to be brought out, we'll just do a series of motions and roll right through them.
Yeah, looking at them, they all appear.
They're all the same.
Very similar.
Okay,
All right, I'm ready.
do it.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve the request for transfer of ownership for CUP 06-001 from Byzantine Quarry to Wholesome.
Second.
Has been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Bell?
Aye.
Commissioner McFall?
Aye.
Commissioner Grantham?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Number 7.
You want me to do that one?
Whoever
It's
wants
your
it.
turn.
All right. I would move to approve the request for transfer of ownership of CUP 11-001, Canyon Dolomite Quarry, CUP held by Rocky Mountain Landscape Materials to Wholesome.
Second.
Has been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner McFall?
Aye.
Commissioner Bell?
Aye.
Commissioner Grantham?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Number 8. I'll do it. I move to grant the request for transfer of ownership for CUP-12-001 THE aggregate, easy for me to say,
You sure you want to do
aggregate
this?
source quarry to Wholesome.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Grantham?
Aye.
Commissioner Bell?
Aye.
Commissioner McFall?
Aye.
Motion carried.
And number 9.
And finally, I move to approve the transfer of ownership for CUP 03-002 from Table Mountain Quarry to Wholesome.
Second.
Has been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Bell?
Aye.
Commissioner McFall?
Aye.
Commissioner Grantham?
Aye.
Motion carried.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here.
Mr. Chair, can I make a statement right quick?
Please.
Just for those of you in the room and the millions watching around the world, we do have a packet, again, in front of us with the information. We have access to the CUPs that we just transferred, so we're not just doing this off the cuff. We have the information and able to study it to make these decisions. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, thank you for that. And just another thing for Mr. Webster, Commissioner McFall and I were talking this morning about golf, and Play Park Hill is still my favorite 9-hole course in the world in Rocky Ford. No, it's had a few rough years over the last 10 or 15 just because of the water, but it's still a neat little course. All right, item number 10, dry covenant and agreement for Pathfinder Regional Park water tap. And for this, we turn to our county attorney, Brenda Jackson. Ms. Jackson.
This is the continuing story of getting a water tap for the covered pavilion at Pathfinder Regional Park. The City of Florence met on June 19th and approved a 2-inch tap in exchange for 7 shares of Union Ditch stock and payment of a sum of money, part of which of the sum of money will be in Union Ditch shares for a total of 26 Union Ditch shares that will be transferred to Florence. Only 7 of those require dry up ground, and so the agreement in front of you, and there's also a resolution in your packet, and as well as a legal description of the dry up amount and a map showing what will be dried up under attachments in your packet. So we entered into one of these agreements in March for 1 water share, thinking we were going to get a 3/4 or 1-inch tap, and it was later determined we needed 2-inch tap. So this amends that previous agreement and increases the number of shares being exchanged to 7 and increases the acreage being dried up to 0.7 acres as opposed to 0.1 acre.
Okay. Any questions or comments?
No, it's pretty cut and dried, actually.
Just the comment, it will be really nice to finally have
dried.
this complete,
Tapped and dried,
tapped and dried.
water tapped.
Yep.
Okay.
And it is a resolution.
Yeah, it is a resolution. So we have an agreement as well as the dry up resolution.
Which one is the?
Okay, there's an agreement, well, there's a water tap application that goes with the Pathfinder Pavilion project, so essentially that's already been approved. The dry up agreement is approved by resolution. The resolution authorizes the dry up agreement.
Gotcha.
But the agreement for water service is the other agreement. That's different than the
Right,
tap one.
that's kind of
Yeah,
the
yeah.
application.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is what she discussed with the 26 shares. And that'll pay half, and then the other half is in cash, which is $48,721.32.
Yep.
Okay.
If there's no other discussion, Mr. Chair, I have a motion.
Well, if there's any, I was gonna, given the folks in the audience, I was going to open this up for any comments from the public, since this is a agenda item. If there is any discussion that needs to be had, if you want. I'm not begging you to, but if you want.
I don't know, it sounded to me like he was kind of,
Tim Jordan, 844 Sumo Avenue in Florence. Can I get copies of those once you all are done and all that?
They're public, they're on the website.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay.
I'm glad this is done and over.
see, I'm not alone.
You and me both.
All right. Okay, we
Ready
have
for
a
motion,
motion.
Mr. Chair? I move to approve the dry up covenant, which is resolution number 22, and the agreement for Pathfinder Regional Park water tap.
Second.
Okay, it has been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner McFall?
Aye.
Commissioner Bell?
Aye.
Commissioner Grantham?
Aye.
Motion carried.
All right, yes. To echo Mr. Jordan, I'm glad that's in the rearview mirror now.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Item number 11, resolution number 23, reinstating SRU 20-002 Reynolds Annex 11. For this, we turn to our Planning and Zoning Director, Dan Victoria, for an explanation.
All right, hello, everyone.
Hello.
So, this one's a little different. We have some folks that applied back in 2020 for approval of a multi-use building consisting of 3 bays and various uses that are allowed in that zone district. Due to a few different reasons, the applicant had approached us and they weren't able to get their project off the ground. They weren't able to get started, and based off of the original resolution, there's a section in there that says if a special review use is abandoned, discontinued, terminated for a period of 6 months, the approval shall be deemed withdrawn. Now, the applicant wants to get their project up and going. They want to do exactly what they were approved for. It just seems excessive to have them go through the entire SRU process to get a second approval for the same thing. But in my regulations, I don't have the authority to give them the go-ahead. So that's, the applicant submitted a letter requesting to reactivate their permit. They listed the reasons why that they had difficulties getting off the ground. And I'm here presenting it to you guys to your consideration.
Okay, thank you. Any comments or questions?
Just a really quick question. Is this Reynolds Annex 2, as in, okay?
Yes.
Not 11?
So this
it's
is the
2.
Reynolds Annex 2.
Okay.
This is for the property, let me sort through here, located at 3134 Maple Lane.
Thank you for that.
Yeah. Okay. no
I've got a
further
question. So there were contingencies on this SRU as well. There was a revised drainage plan. There was a approved access permit from Department of Transportation, and then changes or corrections to the site plan. Were any of those done?
So yes, sir. So in reviewing the file, the previous director had reached out to them to let them know that they had some contingencies, and it appears that all of the requested items have been submitted.
Okay, so this would be reinstatement with, if approved, with no contingencies, but a waiver request still stands.
Yes, sir. So they're still requesting the same waiver, but they have submitted the 3 contingency items, to my knowledge.
That is what the letter reflects, that those things have been completed.
Okay.
Yep.
And just a, I guess a question or a comment, Dan, this is just one of those special situations, given some of the things that they dealt with since they originally got approval. And I guess in our discretion, nothing is substantially changed in the neighborhood that would bring up alarms that would cause us to have to go through the application process again and public hearings, et cetera, because their circumstances plus the neighborhood circumstances and other things are such that we're here doing this instead of going through a typical process.
You're exactly correct. There's been no significant changes in that area. They're not trying to do anything different than the original approval due to circumstances of the last few years. They're not the only person that's come to us and had discussions on how can I get my permit reactivated since life was so difficult. So we do have some others that have been inquiring about doing the same type of process. But yeah, no significant changes in the neighborhood, no changes to the permit. Everything is exactly the same. It's just not having an applicant jump through all the hoops to do the same thing.
Do the exact same thing?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you for that.
Yeah, I appreciate the fact, Mr. Chair, that our Planning and Zoning Department is willing to be flexible and to work with people instead of work against people. And so we just appreciate the attitude very, very much. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, I have a motion.
Please.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve Resolution Number 23, reinstating SRU 20-002, Reynolds Annex 2. This does also include the waiver request of landscaping of the parking areas, which was included in the original.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Bell?
Aye.
Commissioner McFall?
Aye.
Commissioner Grantham?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Okay, we are at our last item on the agenda for all of our long-suffering audience. The appointment of the new member to the Penrose Community Library District Board of Trustees with a term expiring December 31, 2024.
Mr. Chair, the Penrose Community Library had a trustee that left the area, so they need to refill that position, and asked that Priscilla Haynes be appointed to this trustee position with a term ending December 31st, 2024. And I move to approve that.
I will second with the note that she would be eligible for reappointment at that time if interested.
Okay, it has been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner McFall?
Aye.
Commissioner Bell?
Aye.
Commissioner Grantham.
Aye.
Motion carried.
And with that, we are at the end of our business for the day. I will make note, and just a further encouragement on those that are still listening and watching to be safe this holiday weekend and on the 4th, and enjoy the day and the celebration of the birth of our nation. And more importantly, I would note that today is the last day of Miss Smith. She is moving on to bigger and better things and moving out of state, actually. So we will miss her and have enjoyed having her in here doing this job, and especially when the clerk is gone, we enjoy having her up here with us. So goodbye, Ms.
Thank
Smith.
you so
We
much.
enjoyed having you.
We wish you the best in your future, wherever your travels may take you.
Thank you.
And with that, we are adjourned.